All right, I'd like to call to order our June 12th URA meeting. It is 7:47 p.m. and let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And justice for all. All right. Roll call, Rebecca. Oh,
Agency Chair Frieden,
that's me. I'm here.
Agency Member Blum. Here. Agency Member Letts.
Here.
Agency Member Ross.
Present.
Agency Member Cobb. Present.
All right. Visitor communication.
Michael.
Just because I happened to be driving by on Memorial Day, the park, I stopped and I stood outside and listened for the most part of most of it. The mayor and the manager was there, of course, and within 2 hours later after I left, I just got lethally ill. That does happen to some people, and not because I was thinking about it, nothing like it. I was just looking at it, I think, but some people just do absorb things, a subconscious thing, and man, it really made me ill. Dr. Ross said, you know, when it works when there's a coordinated effort. Well, hasn't been any coordinated effort on me, and you're talking about China had, I believe, because of the homeless situation and how it relates to the homeless people around here. And if this was taken care of, and it's really simple, it's your Deschutes County Health Services. They won't let me see what they're supposed to let me see, and they have exploited and manipulated me. And if that was taken care of, I would be working on my way to the valley because I reconnected with someone that's in the valley at a certain place that would be good for me to be living near. Today, your local town paper, which I only scan lightly, has a columnist stating, quote, "We suffer a systemic disease that has metastasized and made even the simplest progress unattainable." On a further paragraph, quote, "There are many theories about the source of this corrosion. They might be partially right. They might be wholly wrong," unquote. On the page facing this is another columnist whose job is to make people better. There is the statement stating the obvious, quote, "We are by nature multidimensional," unquote. Yes, throughout history, people, including the highly evolved ones, can be seen as multidimensional, though not in the way this columnist correlates to it to. Quote, "Life can be a bit performative, like a play. We all take on different roles. The character descriptions," side note, does this include the very modern Western American labels of psychiatry? And side note, the character descriptions will likely, this is continuing her quote, "The character descriptions will likely differ depending on if we are at work, home, social settings, or alone. This is completely human," unquote. The softest way I can reply to this is bull bleep. And I am fully aware a percentage of those who jump off very tall buildings and very tall bridges is because people sell this crap. I won't buy your bridge nor your building. You do in your modern enormous crucible. Back to the other facing column, quote, "It's everywhere. It's piling up. It's unstable. and now feels like it's about to topple, unquote. Sounds schizophrenic and bipolar. Lucky he's not homeless, so he doesn't need to be given those, quote, character descriptions. Besides that, he might have already jumped. He looks and sounds like the potential type. Just giving someone just a little positive credit. Only for a moment, though, being they would probably not ever be capable to do in camaraderie the simple, straightforward, real human action I've been looking for far too long. Yes, as I've said many times, I'm still waiting for anyone. And again, I will say, I'm easily to be reached in this small town. Even the sheriff deputies can find me for someone standing up to an important issue. The last line by the columnist who noticed this society as a systemic disease is, quote, and apparently no one able to fix it, unquote. Well, whenever I'm going to do something, it has to happen with 1 foot forward to start. And I'm not a philosopher. And I ask, what good are they? What good are they for anyways?
Thank you, Michael.
Mayor,
Yes.
can I'd like to offer that Michael could call 988 and they do have funding to help send people where they want to go.
I'll talk to you offline about it.
Okay.
Okay, all right. We have a consent agenda that's next. There's no other visitor communication, correct? There's nobody online or anything? Okay, sorry.
Move approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
Gary seconded.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Just in case anybody wanted to know, that was just consent agenda. It doesn't matter. On the council business, public hearing and consideration of URA Resolution 2024-03, which is going to adopt fiscal year 24-25 budget, establish the tax increment authority, make appropriations, and collect 100% of the division of tax. This is an open public hearing for those in the audience. Joe,
Okay,
Finance Director
or
O'Neill.
Director of Finance, right? Okay, thank you very much. So this is kind of a similar song, different verse for the ORA compared to the city. This is basically appropriating all the funds for the Urban Renewal Agency. And just kind of scrolling down here, looking at the screen. Similarly, you can see the 2 funds in the Urban Renewal District. You have your debt service fund of the $600,000. That is the only line item of expenditures for that fund. And then you have the project fund with a little bit more activity in it than we're used to seeing. So both of those items were approved in the budget. And then that fund has a total expenditures, including reserves, of $2.1 million. So you'll see a little bit different from the city in that there's no known increment for the Urban Renewal Agency. So instead, you just ask that the resolution adopt the kind of the full maximum increment that is allowed.
Okay,
And that's it.
all right. Is there any public comment? I shall close the public portion of the hearing. We can discuss and ask Joe questions if anybody has any. Otherwise, we can entertain a motion.
Can you just mention a couple of the projects in the project fund?
Yeah, so in the project fund, you have the workforce housing grant of $400,000. We have the West Side Pump Station contribution. And lastly, we have workforce. I said workforce, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Workforce, Westside Pump Station,
Roundabout arc.
Roundabout Arc.
Roundabout.
Thank you.
Roundabout arc, Yep.
Let's not forget that. That's the biggest one, actually.
Party bus.
Right?
Party bus, right? Party bus in Red Rock, dueling it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Discussion? Motion? I can't do the motion, so someone has.
I move to approve resolution 2024-03.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any against? Okay. Yeah, I didn't hear Gary.
I forgot to say aye, but I'm.
I didn't hear.
It's
him,
getting
so-
late. I'm half asleep. over here.
Okay. So approved. Thank you. Next one is, discussion and consideration of a motion to approve an engagement letter for bond services and allow the agency manager to execute the letter. Joe?
Yes, thank you. So this is a little bit unique to this board. So a bond counsel serves as a kind of an appointee for more or less the bank, or if it's a public offering, the public, to determine whether or not, we're legally allowed to provide any debt and issue any debt. So they kind of do a lot of the due diligence for the city, and it's actually a requirement of the funding agency we're pursuing. So it's one of those things that also has to do with the uniqueness of urban renewal agency because of that nature of those agencies. And so this individual bond counsel is very familiar with those. In fact, Elaine Howard, who has done a lot of consulting with us in URA, recommended her and has worked with her and has worked with others that hasn't worked out as well. So we thought that her expertise would be valued for us.
Okay. Any discussion or questions?
I move to approve the engagement letter for bond services and allow the agency manager to execute the letter.
Second.
That was well moved. I appreciate that. Any last discussion? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
I said aye that time.
Okay, good. All right. Is there any other business you want to bring up while we're together? Any URA stuff?
I do not. Chair, thank you.
All right. We're done. EDP